This is how I roll. Motivation all I know. Never stop, I'm on go. Cause motivation is all I know. This is how I roll. Motivation all I know. Never stop, I'm on go. Cause motivation is all I know.
Welcome to Conscious Living, the visual podcast where we peel back the layers of the headlines to understand the human stories underneath them. I'm Jabari HERU SIMBA, and today we're talking about a story that pierced the heart of a community and reignited a national conversation about race, fear, and justice. This is the story of AJIKE A.J. Owens, a mother of four, a neighbor, a woman whose life was tragically taken on June 2nd, 2023 in Ocala, Florida. It was a quiet Friday evening in Marion County, the kind of evening where kids play outside, neighbors wind down, and the Florida air feels heavy with summer humidity. But that night, a simple knock on a neighbor's door would turn deadly. 35-year-old AJIKE Owens walked to her neighbor's apartment, not with violence, not with threats, but reportedly to confront a woman who had yelled at her children. And moments later, she was shot through the closed door. AJIKE, or AJ as family called her, wasn't just a name on a headline. She was a mother of four beautiful children, aged 3 to 12. She was known in her community as a protector, a nurturer, a woman who loved deeply and lived boldly. Friends described her as strong but gentle, someone who showed up for her kids' school activities, who believed in discipline but led with compassion. She was the kind of mother who taught her kids to stand tall, but also to be kind. And on that night, that's all she was doing, standing up for her babies. According to reports, the neighbor, 58-year-old Susan Lawrence, had a history of conflict with AJIKE's children. Witnesses say she had been yelling at them earlier that day, even throwing a roller skate and an umbrella in their direction. When AJIKE came to the door, seeking an explanation, Lawrence fired a single shot through the closed door, striking AJIKE in the chest. AJIKE collapsed outside her neighbor's apartment, right in front of her 9-year-old son, who had followed her there. He watched his mother die. For days after the shooting, Lawrence was not arrested. Authorities cited Florida's controversial Stand Your Ground law, a law that allows people to use deadly force if they believe they're in imminent danger. But here's the question that burned through the community. How is shooting through a closed door an act of self-defense? As news of AJIKE's death spread, the community erupted. Vigils were held, marches were organized, mothers, fathers, teachers, and clergy gathered demanding justice. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump, the same attorney who represented families of George Floyd and Trayvon Martin, took on the case. He said it is unconscionable that this woman shot through a closed door, knowing children were on the other side, and wasn't immediately arrested. Days later, under public pressure and growing national attention, Susan Lawrence was finally arrested and charged, not with murder, but with manslaughter with a firearm, culpable negligence, and battery. She claimed she acted in self-defense, that she felt threatened by AJIKE banging on her door. But prosecutors argued her actions were reckless and racially motivated. Lawrence herself allegedly told investigators that AJIKE and her children were, quote, aggressive, and she also used racial slurs during previous encounters with them. This wasn't just about fear, it was about perception, the way Black life is too often seen as a threat. This case once again forced America to look in the mirror. Florida's Stand Your Ground law has been in the center of many racially charged killings, from Trayvon Martin in 2012 to Marissa Alexander, a Black woman who fired a warning shot and got sentenced to 20 years. The pattern is painfully familiar. When white fear meets Black presence, the law seems to bend. AJIKE's name joined a long list of lives lost in encounters that never should have escalated, and her death raised the question, what does standing your ground really mean when some people's very existence is seen as a threat? AJIKE's 4 children were left without their mother. Community members and supporters came together to raise funds, to comfort, to ensure that these children know their mother's name would not fade into silence. Her family said, AJ was the heartbeat of our home. Her laughter filled every room. She died protecting her babies. And in that, There's both tragedy and strength. What makes this story so haunting isn't just the violence, it's the ordinariness of it. A mother defending her children, a neighbor consumed by fear, a law that often shields the shooter more than the victim. These dynamics are not new. They are woven deep into America's racial fabric. AJIKE's story demands that we look beyond the headlines and ask, what are we teaching people to fear? Who gets to feel safe? And when will accountability truly mean something? If you're listening today, remember AJIKE Owens. Say her name. Share her story. Support organizations that fight for racial justice and for reform of laws like Stand Your Ground. Because justice isn't just about one trial. It's about changing the systems that make these tragedies possible. AJIKE Owens deserved to grow old. Her children deserve to feel safe, and her community deserves better. As we close, I want to leave you with this thought. Until we learn to see each other, truly see each other, these cycles will keep repeating. This has been Conscious Living. I'm Jabari HERU SIMBA. Thank you for tuning in, staying aware, and staying human. Until next time, stay safe, stay conscious, and stay grounded.